all good things must come to pass. And tonight, Will Shipley declares for the NFL draft.
No! No! No!
Yeah, you probably feel that way a little bit. This guy, he's been around for 3 years. He was a big-time recruit out of the state of North Carolina. You got to think a who's who of running backs has come out of the state of North Carolina. You could just start with Todd Gurley right off the top of your head, going to Georgia out of, I believe that was Tarboro. And so, these days, I'm shocked it even stayed at Clemson to a point with all of the stuff that's went on over the past few years. But he was really bought into the Clemson community. And, I hate to see Will Shipley go. I really do hate to see him go, but I do wish him the best. Now, I will tell you this, he got injured in the Kentucky game, in the Gator Bowl. Pause right there. We saw trashy bowl games. I think this is the worst we've ever seen of just bowl games being lopsided, trashy, terrible, awful, because players are opting out left and right. And Will Shipley didn't opt out for the Gator Bowl. I find it very hard to believe that he hadn't made his decision already. And he just played a few days ago. He did get hurt, but after the MRI, there's no surgery needed for his injury. He should be fine. He's probably a little banged up. Probably wished he wasn't banged up at this point. But, I hate to see him go. I'm going to go over his numbers, give you a little bit of history. Welcome to Clemson Football Live. I am Brian. I am glad you're here. I hope that you've subscribed. If you hadn't subscribed, it's free. And it's the easiest way to support the channel. Also, there's a join button below the video. If you're on an Apple product, you might not see it. Also, want to let you know before I go any farther, today I dropped this video. It is a complete review of this 2023 season. I put some comedy in there. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I took a season that was not that enjoyable at times and at least made it kind of fun. I hope you'll go watch it. A lot of people have already watched it and really enjoyed it. Reached out to me and said, I loved it. That was a great recap. It was, even though the season didn't end up how we wanted, it was a blast. So I hope you'll go check it out. So Will Shipley was part of a really good recruiting class. In fact, I'm going to share my screen just so you can see 24/7 Sports. He was part of the 2021 class. You can see Tristan Lee, Barrett Carter, Jeremiah Trotter. There he is, Will Shipley, Nate Wiggins, Jake Brenningstool. Phil Maffa, Bo Collins. There's some big names on there. Now Texas Longhorn Andrew Makuba, Troy Stellato. There's some really good football players on this team, and he was definitely one of them. And he came out. I'm still kind of shocked that we got him versus, say, like a North Carolina school. But he really was bought in to Clemson, and that says a lot about him. That makes me feel good that he stuck with us as long as he did. I think that Will Shipley was expected to be a little more than what sometimes he was used or maybe we thought he was going to be. For instance, some people would compare him periodically to Christian McCaffrey. Folks, I saw Christian McCaffrey play live when he was with the Panthers, and this is before Cam Newton got beat up. I've never seen a human being move like Christian McCaffrey, so that's a tall order to put on a human being. But he came out, he played very well, and I'm just going to go over his stats right now. I would share my screen on it from ESPN, but I don't know if there's some sounds playing on that side. Sometimes you can't tell on my side. But in 2021, he rushed the ball 149 times for 739 yards. He had 11 touchdowns. In 2022, last year, he rushed the ball 210 times for almost 1,200 yards, 15 touchdowns. He had 242 receiving yards. And then in this season, he got banged up this season. He did get banged up here and there, and he carried the ball 167 times, 827 yards, 5 touchdowns on the ground. He had 244 receiving yards. He had 2 receiving touchdowns this year. Those are the only receiving touchdowns that I'm seeing here for his career, which kind of shocks me to a point. But every year he averaged at least 5 yards per carry. And I mean, what can you say about the guy? He came in and he gave his all. And I know that some people has criticized him on his running style. Somebody said he looks like he's running drunk. Well, here's the thing. Our offensive line during the time he's been here has been absolutely jacked up. I mean, it just, from the time he came in till the time he leaves, the offensive line has been non-existent at times. And I kind of look at him and go, I wonder what this guy would have done if he would have played on, say, I don't know, the 2019 Clemson team. Can you imagine him running the ball with the 2018 offensive line? I can't. He probably tack on another 400 or 500 yards plus onto each year that he carried the football. So the guy had to continue to churn, and the guy continue to have to fight. Because, quite frankly, our offensive line is basically non-existent. I'm hoping Matt Luke will change that, but he had to deal with that. We know Maffa came in this year. He's played second fiddle the entire time to Will Shipley. And so far, please don't let him I don't think he'll transfer. I hope he doesn't declare for the NFL draft. But it's just big news coming out of Clemson that he's transferring. I've got some comments in here. Teddy knows best. What's up, Bobby? Athens Tigers in here. A member of the Not Bobby. I'm so used to saying that. The member of the Clemson Football Live. Thank you so much. Grafnar, thumbs up, people. Good to see you, my friend. He's a member of the Clemson Football Live. Great player, great guy. The guy. The thing about him is that he is extremely fired up. He's a very passionate player. So keep going through here. Tiger Paul Craven's in here. What's up, Brian? Teddy knows best. Phil is much better. John Sarian. Jay is in here. I got a bunch of people in here. Yes, Mickens is coming back. Tiger in the burrow. Yeah, I appreciate that. Dale, it's good to see you. He was fun to watch. All the best to him. So, what do I think? Now, I'm going to say this. I'm not criticizing him personally. If I were him, I would come back one more year. Not because of Clemson. I wouldn't transfer. I definitely wouldn't transfer. I would come back one more year. Personally, I would do that. He has to do what he feels is best for him. But I would love to see the guy come back. I believe that I'm saying this from a stats angle. His stats are good, but I don't know what the NFL is predicting him to be drafted at. But I think somewhere 4th or 5th round. I just think that I would come back if I were him from a professional standpoint. Now, from a Clemson standpoint, and I'll say this, from the Clemson standpoint, we all know who is playing behind him. We have Phil Maffa, and Phil really stepped up this year. You know it, I know it, we all know it. Phil rushed for 186 yards against Notre Dame. He had 4 touchdowns in this game against Kentucky. And I would like to see Phil really, really explode. Now, I know that we have that guy that we just signed. I'm going to butcher his last name, but I think it's David Izumame, or I think if that's how you pronounce his name. Please forgive me for that. But he's coming in. My buddy Chase Henderson sent a text to me and his brother tonight saying, I hate that we lost Quadzilla. because Dominique Thomas probably transferred out because he knew that David Azumame, or however you say his name, was coming back, that Maffa was probably going to stay. So he went ahead and transferred out. I agree with that. But I really think that losing Dominique Thomas, I don't know if where he's at in the transfer process. I'm totally speaking out of left field. I don't know if you go back and try to get the guy to stay. I don't know if he can stay by the rules now. We'll see. But I just don't know. I don't know, but I do agree with Chase that you kind of wondered if Dominique Thomas knew that Shipley was going to declare, would he have left, would he have stayed? Yeah, it's just, I don't know. But anyway, John Sarian says Dominic is already at Georgia State, I'm pretty sure. Georgia State got a freaking animal down there in Atlanta if he did transfer there. So if he transferred to Georgia State, if Sean Elliott's still down there, got a freak of an athlete. So, well, folks, I'm going to let you go. Will Shipley, I wish you the best, dude. I appreciate what you've done for Clemson. And in the years of transferring out just because you stayed. And I really do appreciate that. And I wish you the very best. I wish that Clemson would have given him a better offensive line. I mean, I'm going to harp on that. The offensive line just kept getting worse. And I mean, somebody said that, Thomas Austin was only given a few years. It's like, good grief, it went down that bad in a few years. You want to say how much worse it could get in another few? I mean, my good grief. I mean, do you need to see the boat completely go under the water where there's no more visual for you to be convinced that it's sinking? I really wish that we could have given him a better offensive line. And, now Maffa, at least he'll have Matt Luke. I think that's going to take some time to fix what was going on with the offensive line still. But I'm interested to see the numbers that Maffa puts up and some of the running backs who are going to be playing as well. Folks, you take care of yourself. I hope you'll go check out the video, as I said, the video where I just reviewed last season. That actually dropped today. Go check it out. If anything, it's entertaining. I hope you subscribe. It's free and it's easy. And if you want to support the channel on a monthly basis, the join button is below here, unless you're on Apple product. As always, go Tigers.